Coming up on Torrance Today, new names are added to the Veterans Memorial Wall as volunteers share what they learned about our local heroes. Come out to Coastal Cleanup Day this weekend and stop by a special booth this year where you can say thank you to our veterans. And the North Torrance Library relaunches its homework center that is now filled with modern technology and helpful tools for our students. All this and more coming up right now on Torrance Today. Welcome to Torrance Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's 4 p.m. on Tuesday, September 19th. I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's our first story. Volunteers at the Torrance Historical Society uncovered 5 additional names of Torrance-based veterans who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Those names got added onto our Veterans Memorial Wall last Friday, and I met a few volunteers who were instrumental in making this happen.
Russell Willis Browning, Thomas Walter Beecham, James Duran Sanders, Christy Palika, John Robert Wolverton. Thomas Walter Beecham, he was on a submarine USS Argonaut, which was torpedoed and sunk, and at the time he's in the Navy for 18 years, and he's planning to retire on his pension shortly, and unfortunately he was killed in action. So that was very sad. I stayed up very late into the night trying to double check and triple check the sources to make sure it's accurate and that they met the criteria. But it was just very exciting because I want to make sure their stories are told, and remembered and preserved for future generations. This is probably the most rewarding project I've ever worked on.
Next Memorial Day, when we gather here around 2 o'clock, I think, and we read every single one of those names. Those 5 new names will be there. So it'll go from 146 to 151. 98% of them, I would say, are 21, 22 years old. And to have a life extinguished that young without being able to experience the joys of being married, having kids, and doing all that stuff. It's kind of poignant, it's melancholy, but boy, we're proud to put their stories up.
It feels like we're not only contributing to history, but we're contributing to the community, to our neighbors. It's a sad thing for a family to get that notice, and the most we can do for them is to honor the people that were lost in action as a part of their family, because they are a part of the Torrance family as well. About 2/3 of the names have stories and names attached to them through the research of the volunteers that we continue to do. We ask if anybody has a name that they recognize, come forward, share anything. Any little thing can give us a link to do additional research.
While they were researching, the volunteers also learned that some of the names that are already on the wall are actually misspelled, so the contractor corrected those names as well. For more information and to volunteer, visit torrancehistoricalsociety.org. On that note, the biggest volunteer day on the planet takes place this Saturday. Coastal Cleanup Day brings hundreds of people to Torrance Beach. Here's a look at last year.
It brings out the community, it brings out students, it brings out just so many people in our community. We have over 300 people registered to clean our beach.
I'm happy to be able to participate here with the beach cleanup. I think having grown up in the South Bay, you're very much aware of what the water quality is, especially if you spend any time in the water or at the beach. And I think it's very important for all the residents to be responsible.
I walk up and down every day with my dog, and so I'm always trying to help out and clean up. I got a lot of cigarette butts, just a lot of food waste stuff, cups, cans. And it's just amazing the amount of trash that I've seen. It's pretty eye-opening.
This will be the city's 26th year participating. We're teaming up with the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, and lots more volunteers can join us. It takes place on Saturday, September 23rd from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Miramar Park. For more information and to register online, go to torranceca.gov/coastal cleanup. City Cable will also be out at Coastal Cleanup Day for another reason. We're collecting messages from our community members for our veterans that we can share in November for virtual Veterans Appreciation Week.
I just want to wish those veterans that served throughout the years. My grandfather was a World War II vet. My dad was a Vietnam vet. I did 30 years in the Navy, and my son is currently with the Army. He's a West Point grad and stationed in Hawaii right now. I just want to wish all our veterans for the hard work they've done and protecting our freedom. And I got the opportunity to do that as well. So I'm very proud of what I've done and the people that were there before me.
I just want to say thank you. I mean, what greater gift than for someone to sacrifice their life for others. And I have a special shout out for Lorenzo Hilliard, a veteran from the Army, and my friend Tobin Tyler, a veteran from the Air Force. They're very special to me, and they're giving people, so I can understand why they would volunteer their service. There was a time when we drafted Americans, but they stepped up and they went and they served their country. And so I just want to say thank you to them and to all the veterans. Love you.
That's a sample of who came to us last year at the Torrance Certified Farmers Market. You can share as much or as little as you'd like, so just stop by our booth at the Coastal Cleanup Day event. Your words mean a lot to our veterans. Mark your calendars for 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We hope to see you at Miramar Park, located at 201 Paseo de la Playa. A new episode of Candid Conversations is now available for you to listen to. It's a podcast-style show that preserves open and sincere dialogues from our community members. A new episode drops every Tuesday, and today's topic is a timely one as we're in the middle of Child Passenger Safety Week.
We have to follow the recipe. Every car seat has a different recipe, and there's over 400 car seats that are still
400?
over 400 car seats out there that are different makes and models and versions and things like that. And if you don't follow the recipe, you're not just throwing away a bad batch of cookies, you're increasing risk to your child. What the parents need to do, what I tell the parents, is they have to read the manuals. They have to read the manual for the car, and they have to read the manual for the car seat, and they have to get an understanding of it. If they can't understand it or it doesn't make sense to them, they need to ask for help.
You can listen to the entire episode now by going to torranceca.gov/Candid Conversations. Shaping Torrance Together, our city's community survey now has new questions for the month of September. There are 5 questions, and this time they include ones asking if you plan to come out to the Coastal Cleanup Day event and if you heard the Torrance Now sirens. Answering these simple questions can help improve the future of Torrance, and it just takes a minute or two to complete. To get started, go to torranceca.gov/Shaping Torrance Together. And speaking of shaping our community, North Torrance now has a brand new homework center for students of all ages. One of the oldest library branches got quite an upgrade, and our community couldn't wait to celebrate.
This is it.
Any student can come in and check out a laptop to use here in the library. They can also use printing here at the library, and for the first time it'll be free to them, so they can print out what they need for homework assignments, if they're writing a paper, whatever they need to do. And then we also have a STEM cart, a makerspace cart, so they can put together things and kind of experiment with whatever it is they're working on. And then we have an enhanced STEM and STEAM kits that they can check out and extend their learning. When they go home, they can take those STEM and STEAM kits home with them. Researchers have found that when students are allowed to study where they're most comfortable and in ways that are most comfortable for them, they actually retain the learning longer. So we're hoping that by providing tools that they can actually adapt to them rather than making them sit in spaces that we've designed, that they'll be more comfortable and more
apt to absorb the things that they're learning.
Having these resources can help also, in addition to students who are going to a public school or a private school here in Torrance, it helps those who are homeschooled to have resources to be able to do projects, learn science and crafts. And yeah, so we're very glad we can support that.
It's great to provide suitable studying areas for our students. I'm very much looking forward to this as enhancing the quality of education for Torrance residents.
A number of other dignitaries, including Senator Stephen Bradford, a representative of Assemblymember Al Muratsuchi, Mayor George Chen, and Councilmember Assam Sheikh all took their time to help celebrate North Torrance's newest educational hub. The upgrade also includes lots of additional shelving and book collections. This was all made possible thanks to a partnership with the Torrance Refining Company. The North Torrance Library is located at 3604 Artesia Boulevard. Well, time is running out to view the current window art exhibit at the Discover Torrance office inside the Del Amo Fashion Center.
My art focuses on communication. You know, as humans, sometimes we have a lot of miscommunication. A lot of my work, you see a lot of immigrants. So I'm an immigrant myself. We have a lot of feelings, a lot of things where we feel misunderstood. So a lot of my art addresses those issues. If you look at this piece right here, you see a little Black immigrant child with a white child, and they're playing together. Again, it's two young immigrant kids that are dreaming, you know, about the impossible. So now they're astronauts. Everything is possible, no matter where you come from. If you look at the pieces, you see happy faces. One of them, they're smiling. The other ones, you know, they're dancing, they're having fun. So when somebody walks by those pieces, I want them to have that feeling and to really, you know, just be happy.
The mixed media pieces are called Together We Dance and Together We Dream. This is the 7th artist to be featured in the program, which is a collaboration between the Torrance Art Museum and Discover Torrance. You can check out this work until Thursday, September 28th. For more information about this program, check out torranceartmuseum.com/window. By the way, if you were at the Del Amo Fashion Center last week, did you see Christmas trees popping up? I did last Friday when I was out for a stroll, and just like many others on the internet, I started questioning why we are setting up so early for the holidays. Well, I found out that the Christmas trees were decorations for a commercial that was being filmed on Thursday. So by the time I was passing through on Friday night, they were actually putting the trees away. It's just a great reminder of how film-friendly our city is. Film permit applications can now be submitted online, speeding up the process of getting proper approvals so more production companies can choose to use Torrance as their backdrop. For more information on special events and filming, you can call 310-618-2456. Updates on LA Metro C Line extension plans to Torrance are available this week. Metro says the project is approaching a major milestone as it moves closer to a recommendation for a locally preferred alternative, or LPA. The project is on the agenda at upcoming Metro Board Committee meetings, and Torrance community members can tune in for a couple of project updates this week. The first one is tomorrow, September 20th. There is an in-person meeting at 1 p.m. in downtown LA. You can watch the meeting online at boardagendas.metro.net or listen by phone by dialing 888-251-2949 and entering the access code 823-1160#. There is another meeting on Thursday at 11 a.m. at the same downtown location, and others wishing to join virtually can do so using the same website and by phone using the same number and access code. Metro says a recent market research poll shows 67% of residents in our area express support for the project. Metro plans to return to the board with a staff recommendation for a LPA on Thursday, October 26th. For more information about this project, visit metro.net/clineext. Well, still ahead, it's Torrance Tuesday, and we are at a 50th high school reunion when we come back in 60 seconds.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
At the end of every episode of Torrance Today, we want to share a positive story that fits the theme for the day. On this Torrance Tuesday, we celebrate Torrance High School's 50th reunion, which took place last Saturday, bringing the former students together from all over the country.
It was 4 years I was with them, and they were great wrestlers. The 73 class was probably the most fun I ever had coaching. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't have come here if they weren't good kids.
The time we attended Torrance High was an exceptional, great time. A lot of our friends back then are still my friends now today.
This man right here was one of the most impressionable people I've ever had in my life, and my dad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
See, he taught us the tenacity to keep going and to win. And that's what we've all done in our lives.
Never give up.
Hi! We're here today celebrating the class of 1973 50th high school reunion, along with classes.
A 50-year, 5-generation reunion.
Yes.
Today we're really excited to hang out at Torrance Park with our old buddies.
Yeah.
Gail brought her Amavita jacket. It means
Friends forever.
Friends forever. And, it's just wonderful to be together. It's like no time has ever passed.
It's been phenomenal. We had such a great day today at Torrance Park, and now we're going to hang here and listen to one of our classmates play. And a lot of people showed up that I hadn't planned on seeing. They're coming from Maine, they're coming from Maryland, they're coming from Louisiana, Texas, several from Texas. I think the surprising part was the effort people made to be here, and it was awesome.
I was the Torrance High mascot for the class of 73. I'm just excited just to see all my friends and how everyone's changed. We look the same, but we're just a lot older, like 50 years older.
Look at you, man. That's a long time ago, boy, 50 years. But you know, to still recognize some of them is incredible, a blessing to me. The guys on the football team and wrestling and other close friends became my family. Had no really camaraderie with other men, boys at that time, until the high school. So the memories, the influence that they had on my life, along with the teaching staff and the coaches, wonderful. Wonderful time. I would just encourage anybody that even views this to just think ahead, especially if they're in high school. Think ahead what it's going to look like 50 years later and how much impact those times can have in your life.
What a great turnout. The organizers for this reunion reached out to us last year, and we're happy to have played a small role in helping people to learn about this weekend's events. You can watch the organizers' heartwarming stories on future episodes of Weekends in Torrance. The video is also available now on the city's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Well, that's our show for today. Let us know if you have a positive story to tell by emailing us at torrancetoday@torranceca.gov. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more news from and for our Torrance community. Have a good day.